YouTube. Hello, YouTube. There we go. Hello, YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All righty. I'm going to lower you. There we go. Lower you a little. Hey, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. TikTok. Let's see what TikTok does, as always. TikTok being weird, but we shall see. Just looking here. Yeah, it's not so bad. Not so bad. All right. What do we got here? All right, TikTok. There it is. Oh, not create an event. Go live. That should work. All right, let's go live and hope it works. Oh, there it is. 1 second. All right, one moment. Anyway, good evening from Sweden, Annie. All right. Oh, the kicker thing is kind of funky. The kicker thing is kind of funky. Blue Moon Tiger. Oh my God. Some of those gifts are cool, but Jesus Christ, 15,000 diamonds. That's huge on TikTok. 1 second, guys. Like I said, I'm still trying to pick a gift of the day. Giraffe, jellyfish, fireworks are always fun. Dinosaurs are fun. I still think the fairy wings are fun. We're going to pick the fairy wings. All right. TikTok is going live. Here we go. All right. One, boom. Mirror the video. All righty. TikTok's going live. Oh, hello, everybody. Oops. Actually, I need to move you out of the way a little bit. There we go. Camera's getting hit by the pole from my microphone a little bit. Not a good thing. There we go. All right. Everything's happy. TikTok microphone working? Maybe. Let me know. No one's complaining yet, so I'm thinking it is working. There's a shocker. So bizarre. It's really weird. Oh, I've got to turn the volume down. There we go. The volume was on way too high, though. Because I have to turn the volume up when I record the videos and then put the volume back to normal when I'm done recording the videos. So anyway, welcome everybody. John Aravosis here. Talking to you about the latest news from America and Ukraine. Some Ukraine news, a lot of America news. Reminder, Saturday, we have our coffee talk. Saturday, I do a hangout specifically for the paid monthly subscribers. That's the paid monthly subscribers on TikTok, Discord, YouTube. Folks who basically do a monthly contribution. It's very easy to do. TikTok, I think it's the $ or star or something on the page. Actually, on TikTok, I might even say subscribe. On YouTube, I don't know where it is. Somebody tell YouTube people, is it anywhere obvious on the screen? I see a different screen since I'm managing the show than you guys see. And Discord, there does exist such a thing on Discord. I don't quite know where it is, but it does exist. But anyway, anybody who has a monthly subscription, either a gift they got from someone or one they bought themselves, I will do a special show Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, US. That's okay, D. Elliott. That's okay. Although if somebody wants to so generously give D. Elliott a 1 month gift subscription, that would be nice on YouTube. Up to you guys. People have the ability to give a gift subscription for 1 month to anybody they want. So that's always nice. $ at the bottom. Okay, that's good to know. I do sound a bit hoarse. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, my voice is a bit sore, hoarse. Not sore. It's hoarse today. I don't know. I still think it might be the GERD because I don't think anything weird's been going on with my voice and the show. But suddenly today, it's being hoarse. The weirdest part was it wasn't being hoarse earlier that I could tell. So I don't know. I think it's GERD. And you don't quite know. Anyway. I've been taking some stuff for the GERD, and then I didn't last night because I took the pill late and blah, 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 blah. And I've not made the appointment for the therapy, but it's sitting right here. I need to do that on my videos. Yeah, I was going to say, I noticed it literally just right now talking to you, which makes me wonder. It does make me wonder about allergies and stuff too. GERD is like heartburn coming up. So the hand is not fixed. The hand is fixed, but it's not fixed. Went to the doctor today. Oh my God, the hand thing. Oh, went to the doctor today. He said it's looking good. He recommended 2 sessions of physical therapy that I hate, but for 2 of them, I was like, okay, fair enough. Because he said with physical therapy, they can look at my hand. I had surgery for trigger finger. They can look at my Oh, maybe so. Maybe DC is doing it wandering. Yeah, maybe there is something special in DC right now. But uh, he said that the physical therapist can help with my hand because they can help sort of see how much inflammation I've got and what exercise I should or shouldn't do based on the inflammation. I was like, okay, fair enough. I'll do 2 sessions. I physical therapy I often feel like is a real waste, but that's fine. But oh my God. So the doctor tells me today, after I had my surgery 2 months ago, but hands take a long time to heal. He tells me today, a steroid injection in your hand would help get rid of the scar tissue much quicker. And that's a good thing, helps it heal quicker. So I was like, okay, thank you, Annie, for the crab. Thank you, Heather. So he gives me the injection in my hand. Okay, he claims he numbed it. I was like, you numbed it? It was 30 seconds of a needle in my hand moving because he had to hit like an area this big. Oh my, I have never had needle pain like that in my life. I get allergy shots. I've never had needle pain like that. I wasn't moving, but I was like, oh my God. I was doing everything I could not to swear because I was going to let the F word rip so badly. Oh my God. He's like, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, that was the worst shot I have ever had in my entire life. He goes, I numbed it. I said, okay, I don't know what you numbed. Well, first of all, I said, okay, I guess now is the time I should have told you that numbing agents don't always work very well on me. Clearly that would be the case right now. Oh my God. I love him. I numbed it. You numbed it. I was going through the roof with this thing. But imagine, I don't want to gross TikTok out, but a needle in your hand for half a minute and it's moving? It's as bad as you can think. Because also think about your hand. Your hand is like the bottom of your feet. It's very sensitive and soft. It's as bad as you would think it would be. That's all I will tell you. Your worst nightmare of how it feels is how it felt. Oh my God. Your tongue. Okay, tongue. I could imagine tongue big. Tanya says, try your tongue. Tongue, I would imagine, is even worse. That probably is true. Oh my God. Half a minute and I was like, are you done yet? He goes, no. Like, oh God. Oh my God, to remove a tumor. Oh, yours was to remove a tumor. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, so much pain. Anyway, supposedly it helps. You know what I mean? Your eye. I've had surgery. I've never had a needle in the eye. I'm trying to think. I've had laser in the eye. That was fun. The laser thing was funny. The laser, they tell you, because I had to have laser because of retinal problems in back. Oh, you won't feel a thing because there's no nerves back there. Huh? Then I met a guy in Paris who studied with the professor that like invented the eye laser. And he was asking me about it. And I said, oh, I had the eye laser. He goes, yeah, apparently it doesn't hurt. I said, oh, it hurts like hell. He goes, no. It's not supposed to hurt. It's impossible. I said, dude, I've had this laser multiple times, including in Paris where they really had to laser the thing. I said, it was quite painful. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Don't let them tell you anyway. Oh, my God. Now everyone's giving their scary freak out health stories. Oh, my God. Anyway, but yes, my needle in the hand today was not the most fun it could have been. I mean, I'm really tired enough of getting allergy shots, to be honest. And this was just like adding a whole nother level of pain to the entire process. You met the guy who invented LASIK. Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of fun. Oh my God. Anyway, we're okay now. But so anyway, welcome guys. Saturday is our coffee talk. I do a hangout every Saturday morning. I was telling you guys for the paid monthly subscribers, that's Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So anybody who is a monthly subscriber on TikTok, it's anybody who has SNN next to your name. On Discord, it's anybody whose name is not white. So like Dave, for example, is yellow. Jeffrey is blue. And on YouTube, it's anybody, again, whose name is not white. So a lot of you today, Flying Medic, Frank, D. Elliott, Rhiannon, etc. So anyway, if you can join us, that would be lovely. And otherwise, I'm going to get rolling because I don't want Mustard to yell at me. The old Mustard would be like, okay, we're 13 minutes into the show. You have not started with the Ukraine news yet. We're starting. We're starting. See, the new mustard laughs. I like the new mustard. Anyway, all right, let's get rolling, guys. Do keep the gifts coming, please. The gifts pay the bills. I didn't sort of hit you. Last night was pretty bad. I didn't hit you guys hard last night, but the gifts are important. This is my income, so please do keep them coming. All right. Trump's new tariffs. Trump's massive new tariffs kicked in overnight, ranging from 10 to 50%. Oh yeah, Dave, I didn't think of that. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. You're fiery. Exactly. Deb is fiery. Fair enough. Deb is fiery. Trump's new tariffs kicked in 10 to 50%. Thank you, Carrie, for the gift. It is important to remind people that a tariff is a tax. The tax is either paid by American consumers, you and me, or it's paid by American companies that import the goods that American consumers buy. Here's the thing. If something from Brazil costs 50% more because of Trump's tax on it, that company is passing the tax to you. And in fact, I'll get to that in a second. That'll be the second story we talk about. But yes, the tax gets passed to consumers. A lot of it does. Even if the tax doesn't get passed to consumers, hey, Dario, the company itself is having to pay more. Think about this for the American economy. If American companies have to pay 20 to 50% more for everything they import, and a lot of stuff gets imported. Keep in mind, and we talked about this before, half of every car in America, half of every car has foreign goods. Every single car is made up 50% of foreign goods. If every product coming into the country goes up in price 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, even if the companies don't pass that to you immediately, what do you think that does to an American company when all the goods it was buying, all the parts it was buying just went up 50%? What happens to that company? Pretty obvious, right? You don't have to have an economics degree. If a company is buying things it needs to build stuff like cars, and the cost goes up 50%, the company now has had to pay 50% more money. Well, company has two choices. Either it passes the cost to you and me, but if it doesn't pass the cost to you and me, because Trump is saying don't do it, then the company eats the cost. Well, companies are not made of money. A company can't just eat a 50% tax. That's money the company's paying that the company would have had. It's money that would have gone to bonuses. It's money that would have gone to salaries. It's money that would have gone to marketing. It's money that would have gone to shareholders of the stocks. So all of a sudden, you're affected because you own stock in that company, and the stock goes down, and your dividend goes down. You're affected because you work for the company, and now you're not going to get a bonus, or you're going to get a less of a bonus. You're affected because you work for the company, and the company's not making as much money, and now the company potentially has to lay people off. You're affected because you do marketing for the company. The company buys ads. Companies like Procter & Gamble, they buy ads all across America. Well, now they're buying fewer ads. That means TV stations, radio stations, newspapers, magazines are not getting as many ads as they were. That depresses the economy. So the idea that Trump's tariffs don't affect Americans and American companies is crazy. It is a tax on Americans and American companies. Trump's guy today, one of his guys at the White House, bragged, I think it was Lutnick, who's that commerce secretary that everybody hates because he's the really, really nasty one. He said, we're going to be making $50 billion a month from our tariffs starting today. He just bragged that he was taxing you and me $50 billion a month. That is a tax on everything you and I buy to the tune of $50 billion. That is not a tax on the Chinese. It's not a tax on the Indians or the Brazilians or the Mexicans or the Canadians. It's a tax on you and me, and they're bragging about it. Pretty bad stuff. Let me see here. This is an interesting article, actually. Products that are expected to go up in price. Everyday items ranging from coffee to Toyotas, home furnishings to Gap jeans, luxury items such as Range Rovers, French wines, Rolex watches. French wines are considered luxury items? I would not put a French wine in the same category as a Range Rover or a Rolex. The wine could still be $15, right? It's not like it's a $200,000 car. French luxury items like Range Rovers, French wines, or Rolex could face 10 to 15 to 39% tariffs. The Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick bragged that $50 billion in monthly revenue would come in from the taxes on Americans. Here we go. JP Morgan warns that 60% of the increased costs are expected to be passed on to American consumers as higher prices. So JP Morgan says of Trump's tariffs, 60% will be increased prices for you and me. So if he increases the price of the tariff by 20%, it means, I'm tired, it would mean 12%. Yeah. If the tariff goes up 60%, that means the price of the good for you and me goes up 12%. Trump just increased tariffs to Europe. Was Europe 15% or 20? I mean, guys, we're talking across the board. Trump just increased American prices 8 to 12% at a minimum. His minimum tariffs he's doing when he reaches a deal with these companies, when he reaches a deal, he gives them the special tariff of 15 to 20%. You and I will be paying 12% more for our groceries, 12% more for our items, 12% more for cars, for things we buy on Amazon, things we buy at the local stores because of what Trump is doing. And that's the best case scenario. As Robert just said, that's at a minimum. The best case scenario is you and I have to pay 12% more for things we buy. The worst case scenario is 50% taxes on Brazilian products, 50% taxes on Indian products. 50% tax means, what would that be? If it's 100, it's 60,000, 30%. That would be a 30% increase. So you and I are going to see the price of goods, according to JP Morgan, from Brazil and India, for example, go up 30%. And that's you and me paying 30% more. Not good. I mean, this is very bad stuff. I did a video today on TikTok. The Brits just lowered interest rates again. They're lowering interest rates all the time in Great Britain because things are going well with inflation and everything else. The U.S. was supposed to lower interest rates 4 times last year. We only lowered it 3 times. The Fed had to stop because they were worried about what? They were worried about Donald Trump's tariffs causing inflation. And the big problem with interest rates is if you lower interest rates, you cause inflation. Now, it can be kept under control by not lowering interest rates as much, by being careful when you do it. But lowering interest rates does 2 things. It juices the economy. It puts more money in the economy. Growth, GDP grows. It's great. But all of that makes inflation go higher. Well, right now with Donald Trump's tariffs, the Federal Reserve is terrified about lowering interest rates because they're afraid that Donald Trump's tariffs are going to cause inflation and the interest rates are going to cause even more. So the Brits are lowering interest rates. We're not. We're supposed to lower it 4 times last year. We only lowered it 3 because of Trump. We're supposed to lower it 2 times this year was the prediction from the markets. It's August. We haven't lowered it at all. Now, there may be a small decrease in a couple months. Maybe. People are thinking. Maybe. Because why? Actually, why? Because people are so worried about a recession coming from what Trump is doing. Because of Trump's cuts. Well, I mean, because of the tariffs for starters, but also because of Trump's cuts to federal spending. He's laid off a lot of people. Now, ironically, he hasn't cut the federal budget, which is ironic. The federal budget's still the same it was, but he's cut a lot of people. And by cutting a lot of people, that's a lot of money that goes into the economy that people would have had people no longer have. Risk of recession. Stagflation, correct. Jazz was talking about a stagflation, which is basically the concern that we get inflation and we get a recession. So a high unemployment and high inflation. Now, I might as well tell you really quick. The problem, why stagflation is a word that older people will remember. It was a problem in the 1970s where you get unemployment and inflation. The reason it's such a, that's a cute musical. The reason it's such a problem. Keep the gifts coming, by the way, guys. I don't want to have to keep hitting you. Keep the gifts coming. Yeah, exactly. This is my Keith Haring T-shirt from Uniqlo in Singapore. So the reason stagflation is such a big problem is the Federal Reserve, unemployment, right? You get unemployment, you get a recession. Companies aren't doing well. People lose jobs. What do? You cut interest rates. If there's unemployment, you cut interest rates. It helps juice the economy. It helps the economy be stronger. It helps business. It gives people more money, right? Interest rates go down, your mortgages go down, things like that. It's indirect, but it works. So typically with unemployment, you cut interest rates. Okay. Oh, Arctic, look at you. Thank you, Arctic. Sorry, I had to interrupt because Arctic just gave 20 gift memberships. Thank you for that. I'm not going to name you. You guys could actually, some of our regulars like John Piper, Tree Robitaille, Danny. Oh, great. Thank you, man. That was nice of you. Woo woo. So everybody who's getting a gift membership, it gives you, I think, some emojis. It also lets you join our Saturday show. So if you want to join us Saturday, Saturday show is a nice hangout, actually. So feel free to join us for that. Thank you. That was nice of you, Arctic. Appreciate that. Very nice. Oh, that's nice that it actually I like on YouTube, because on YouTube it actually tells you who gave you the gift. On TikTok, we're always going, wait a minute, who did the gift? Thank you for that. I mean, I thank you as well, but thank you for that. That was very nice of you. So you get that for a month. That was Arctic Legacy. You get that for a month. Oh, different Danny. Not unless you're on YouTube. I thought it was you, Danny. Different Danny, unless you're on YouTube as well. It's a person on YouTube. Anybody who wants to do the same on TikTok, we have a few people asking, like Diane Keaton. Diane Keaton, cute. I loved your movies. I don't think she's a troll yet, unless she's a troll. Is Diane Keaton a troll? Well, you guys figure that one out for yourself. I was going to say, how was Diana? You guys figure out for yourselves. Anyway, so inflation. We're talking about stagflation. Unemployment goes up, cut interest rates. Here's the problem. Inflation's going up too. Guess what the Federal Reserve does when inflation goes up? Raise interest rates. So when unemployment goes up, you lower interest rates. When inflation goes up, you raise interest rates. Stagflation, which is what economists fear we might be heading towards, is rising unemployment, rising inflation. Well, the solution to that is, right, rising unemployment, rising inflation. The solution is lower interest rates, raise interest rates. That's the solution. You can't do it. You can't raise interest rates and lower interest rates. So what happens is you've got unemployment, inflation. You lower interest rates, unemployment will do better, but inflation will go through the roof. Okay? What if you decide to raise interest rates to fight inflation? That will fight inflation. But because you've already got unemployment, unemployment's going to go through the roof. So what Trump is setting us up for, which is very scary, is a situation where the Federal Reserve's hands are tied. Blue sent subs too. Thank you, Blue. Appreciate that. Where people's hands are tied, the Federal Reserve's hands are tied, and they've got to choose between my favorite expression from Greek mythology, the Scylla and Charybdis of causing more inflation or causing more unemployment. That's why stagflation is so bad. Again, it's complicated. You can Google it, but the idea is government regulators like the Federal Reserve cannot fight stagflation. They can't fight unemployment and inflation at the same time. They will always make one worse by making the other better. And it's very bad. So there you go. Oh, it was you. That's funny. Are you on both? It was Danny. That's cute. Danny, Arctic, Danny just thanked you over on TikTok. That's very funny. I thought that might be you. I was like, I don't know that we have other Dannys, but maybe we do. Or Donnie. Anyway. Man. Very scary stuff. Very scary stuff. Anyway. All right. What else we got going here? Trump. Oh, yeah. So Trump is sending the FBI to go arrest Democrats because, we live in Russia. As you know, Trump told Republicans to go and steal 5 Democratic congressional seats in Texas because Republicans are worried that they may lose. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Keep them coming. Thank you, Yarny. Republicans are worried that they may lose the congressional elections next year and lose control of the House of Representatives. So Trump told them, well, just go and steal 5 Democratic seats, and then you won't lose the election. So Republicans are doing that. In Texas, they're redistricting right now, which is never done. You don't redistrict in the middle of the decade. Redistricting happens on year 0. So 2020, 2030, 2040, 2010, 2000. That's when you redistrict. That's when you go in and you look at the census and you say, okay, our population has changed. How do we rejigger the congressional seats? Now, each party in power always tries to help their party. Democrats will try to get more seats for Democrats, Republicans more for Republicans. And neither one should do it. I think it should be illegal, but whatever. But there's a limit. And the courts have a limit on how badly they can do this, but also you can only do it once every decade. So at least the rest of the decade, you can try to catch up, whatever. Trump told the Republicans, you're not supposed to do it until 2030. Why don't you do it today? Steal those Democratic seats right now, and we can win the election next year in Congress. So House Republicans in Texas are doing just that. They're gerrymandering. They're redistricting. Completely inappropriate to do it in the middle of the 10-year period. But they're doing, no one does it this way. Republicans don't do this normally. Democrats don't do this normally, but it's Trump Republicans who are doing it because they don't care anymore about the rules. So they're doing it. Well, Democrats said no, and they left the state. In Texas, you've got to have a quorum in order to pass legislation. If the Democrats leave the state, they don't, even though Democrats aren't in charge, they don't have a quorum, right? So Democrats fled the state. So Trump is now saying he's going to send the FBI to arrest Democratic state legislators who are in Illinois and other states. He's going to take the FBI that should be going after, I mean, Trump was the one who told us that crime is rampant in Washington, D.C., that he wants to take over Washington, D.C. Okay, if that's the case, then why are you taking FBI agents who could be in Washington, D.C. and sending them to Illinois and all around the country to arrest Florida members of their legislature, right? That seems kind of stupid. I mean, couldn't these guys be going after terrorists? Couldn't they be going after hoodlums? Couldn't they be going after, I don't know, Jeffrey Epstein's clients? That'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it? There's an idea. We know why he's not going after them, right? But they're sicking him on Democrats. And again, Trump has already arrested Democratic politicians. Yesterday, they detained 3 Democratic members of Congress at an ICE facility. They literally detained them. They imprisoned them for half an hour illegally. I mean, we are going closer. Trump is now talking about charging the former president of the United States, Obama, with treason simply because of Epstein. He wants to change the topic. So Trump's decided he's going to change the topic by, he says, charging Obama with treason for absolutely nothing, of course. That's not a big surprise. But all of this is not just un-American. It is eating away at the fabric of our democracy. He's first of all educating his people that this is okay, right? He's telling his followers and his voters that breaking the law is okay. He already did that. I mean, January 6th, stealing the classified information. I mean, we know there's been multiple law breaks. Trump was indicted 84 times, one or so, right? Because they had 90 something and then they threw some out. We already know he's indoctrinating them into the concept that breaking the law is okay. But now we've got him, so I'm like having a space. I was on a roll. It was not notes. That was just me on a roll. So I was on a roll there with the Trump stuff. Oh, the Texas stuff. Now he's using it to, again, just arrest his political opponents, investigate his political opponents. He wants to indict former Democratic officials and former Republican officials simply because they criticized him. We don't do that in America, but he's teaching people that we do that in America. And that means it can happen again, even though he's gone, because he's teaching them that it's okay to break the law. It's okay to use government to go after your political opponents, which it's not okay, right? Now, will Democrats retaliate? I doubt it, because as Hillary Clinton always says, Democrats have to be the adults in the room. Democrats have to be the ones that say it's dangerous to have the political culture become this, where we're willing to just break the law to go after people of other political parties. Remember, Trump himself has said that he wouldn't give disaster aid to Democratic states. He didn't want to give it to California because he said Californians didn't vote for him, so he wasn't going to give them aid after the fires. I mean, it's sick stuff here. It's absolutely sick, un-American stuff here. But as I said, it's not just dangerous today. It's dangerous for the political culture overall, because there are other Trumps out there. There are other people who, when he's gone, will try to run for office as well. And the lesson Donald Trump taught them was, it's okay to break the law. It's not. All right, more on this. Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says to Fox News that Israel intends to take control of all of Gaza. He says it's just temporary. They've not reached a final decision, though he says they plan on doing it. It would require the, I think it's called the Security Council in Israel that would have to approve it, but it's expected that may happen in the next few days. The UK, I mentioned, just cut interest rates. Let me see here. Tariffs. Oh, yeah. So there was an interesting article today, I think it was Wall Street Journal, about Trump and tariffs and how Trump had promised tariffs were going to actually, remember, they were going to be foreigners paying for the tariffs. Prices wouldn't go up in America. We've already got data. Government data shows June prices jumped on tariff-heavy goods. In other words, goods that were being that already were facing significant tariffs from Trump. June prices jumped significantly. Home furnishings, toys, appliances. Adidas says their prices are going to go up. Procter & Gamble says it's going to hike the price on a quarter of its products by 2.5%. Now, you could say 2.5% isn't much. I got news for you. I mean, 2.5%, how much, if anybody wants to say? I want to know like a typical family. I don't mean a rich family, like a typical middle-class family in America, for example. What do they pay on their monthly bills? Okay. But forget, well, let's say monthly bills totally. What's your bill each month? Do you spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month? Again, you might have a mortgage, you might have food, you might have kids, but I'm curious like what the figure is there. 2,800. I think that's probably a fair amount, D. Delaney, because it's not the highest, it's not the lowest. Let's say 3,000. Some people are saying 3,000. Mine's higher. I live in Washington. My mortgage alone ends up being 2,100, which sucks. And that's after refinancing, but property tax, et cetera, that's what it is. But let me plug this in. Let's say 3,000. So 3,000 times 2.5%. Okay, that's the small amount that Procter & Gamble is raising prices. Oops. Okay, you know what? I need to switch apps. Wow. Hold on. I realized the calculator app is showing me. I think I may have to get rid. Yeah, I have to get rid of this. I've got a calculator app that was free, and now is requiring me to do like stupid ads with those stupid games they make you pay. Who wants those games? I will never understand this. You know what I mean? Those goofy games that like nobody wants to play with like the king and the things falling down. Is it like Tetris or something? Right, calculator. Come on. All right, hopefully that will do it. Here we go. Okay, I found the calculator. 3,000 times 2.5%. Okay, $75. That's not the worst, actually. That's not the worst. $75 is still not nothing, but that's not the worst. I will say this. I don't want to be spending more at the store because of Donald Trump, but, there's that. Mohawk Flooring up 8%. Coffee shops. Some coffee shops are already raising their prices because Trump has just put a 50% tariff on Brazil. Now, the Brazil tariffs are fascinating. I mean, fascinating, bad, not just fascinating. Trump has put a 50% tariff on everything from Brazil. So you and me and American companies have to pay 50% more now for stuff coming from Brazil because Brazil is prosecuting its former president. Shoot, I'm forgetting. Bolsonaro. President? Help me out here. I think I'm forgetting actually what he was. President? I think president. Somebody help me out. Bolsonaro. They're prosecuting him for attempting a coup, for attempting to overthrow the government. Kind of a big deal, especially in a place like Brazil. Dictator. That was cute, Andon. But Trump is putting a 50% tariff because it is president. Thank you. Okay, 50% tariff because he doesn't like the fact that Brazil is prosecuting its former president for an attempted coup d'état, for attempting to overthrow the government. First of all, we don't put tariffs on countries because they're prosecuting leaders who tried to overthrow the government. I mean, it is the ultimate in corruption. It is the ultimate in corruption. Yeah, he tried it January 6th, exactly, and didn't get away with it. Really, anyway, it's very sick. But you're going to be paying more for Brazilian coffee because Donald Trump wants to help a dictator. Okay. What else we got here? Nebraska. Oh, this was a great article. So Nebraska, there was a Republican member of Congress, Mike Flood. He went and did a town hall meeting in Lincoln, Nebraska. And it was very interesting. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, I'm forgetting who did the article. And I mean, I subscribe to the Times, the Journal, and the Post. So like, I always get confused when reading, although I read other articles too, but I forget which one I've read. But the article was interesting because it was talking about how this Republican member of Congress got just lambasted at this town hall meeting he did, and how a lot of seniors were there, a lot of veterans were there, just destroying him over the fact that Republicans, their new legislation, their beautiful bill that Trump talked about that gave tax cuts for the rich and massively increased the U.S. debt. The national debt is going up $4 trillion because of this bill. Horrific amount what Trump did with this. And they're financing it in part by gutting Medicaid. Now, they're not financing it entirely. They're gutting Medicaid by like $1 billion. No, not $1 billion. Medicaid's $1 trillion, right? Help me out here, but I think Medicaid was around not $1 billion, that's for sure. Medicaid is like $1 trillion, I believe they're cutting. A huge amount. I'm forgetting the exact figure. Huge amount from Medicaid, cutting food stamps, and $1 trillion. I thought it was $1 trillion. Food stamps. This guy got obliterated at this town hall meeting. Dave says 880 billion. Thank you, Dave. I remember it being under $1 trillion, but I thought it was just under $1 trillion. So 880 billion sounds right. It was Mike Flood. Yes, Mike Flood. He got obliterated at this meeting. Now, what was particularly interesting to me is, this was significant what happened, actually. Because initially I'm looking at the story and I'm thinking, okay, some Democrats show up and get pissed off, right? And I'm thinking, that's great, but, it doesn't really impact a Republican congressman. That's not what happened. People lined up around the block. I mean, the picture, I don't know if let me look and see. I think it was Wall Street Journal. Let me pull this up. Since I subscribe, I can show you. The picture was amazing, showing people. I didn't see video. That's too bad. The video would be very cool. Hang on. Hold on. I'm hoping this is where it was. I think it was. And I'm very excited. ChatGPT just opened its newest GPT-5, which I'm using. So I'm very excited. Supposedly getting rid of the hallucinations. I hope that's true. Where is this? Hang on. I don't know if I'm going to find this. You know what? I'm going to do a quick search. I still think it was the Wall Street Journal. I'm going to do a quick search in Google. Let's just do Mike Flood. Because the picture was wild. My point here is people were lined up around the block. I mean, are there videos? Well, there's videos of the meeting. I wanted to see pictures of the, let me go to the news first. Hold on. Where's the, well, there's articles all over the place. I think it was the New York Times. Might have been the New York Times. There's articles all over the place. Let me look at the Times. But there were people lined up around the block. That was interesting, right? That was interesting. Very interesting. I mean, you don't line up around the block. By the way, people here illegally don't get federal programs. I see we have a troll talking about federal programs going to illegals. That doesn't happen. Paid protesters, Republicans do that. But these people were veterans. They were pissed as shit. By the way, paid protesters, as you know from Republican rallies, tend to be very kind of goofy because they're paid protesters. They don't know what they're doing. They're actors. These guys were livid. They knew what they were doing. They were debating him. Paid protesters don't know how to debate. They were debating him. One guy was a veteran talking about being a vet. Very interesting stuff. Oh, there's a video here. I'm going to show you the video. Oh, this is it. Here we go. This was the line. This I thought was very interesting. This was the line outside going around the block. You don't see that. Like if it were just Democrats showing up, you'd get, 10, 20, 30 Democrats, right? I'll show you. You get 10, 20, 30 Democrats. This is around the block, people lining up to go in. That, I mean, I will tell you, because I've organized political movements for 40 years. That's what happens when people are pissed off. That's not, if you try to get your own people to go, good luck getting 10 or 20 people to go. It's very hard to get people to go to these things. When they line up around the block, it's because it's authentic and people are pissed off, which is great. Let's just see here. New York Times. Oh, here's the New York Times.
Next slide, please. No taxes on overtime.
He was trying to say what the bill had.
Next question. Okay.
He's like, next slide.
Why did you cut SNAP, and healthcare.
Food stamps and healthcare.
research.
We do not have unlimited money in the United States.
See, this is the problem for Republican lawmakers. We do not have unlimited money in the United States. Then why did he just pass legislation that wasn't paid for, that added almost $4 trillion to the national debt? Guys, they passed legislation that cost it cost more than $4 trillion. Oh, thank you for the wings, Bowie. Keep the gifts coming, guys. I've not been hitting you up for them. Please keep coming. They passed legislation, $4 trillion, even with the trillion in Medicaid cuts, even with cutting food stamps. $4 trillion of the bill was not paid for. They added $4 trillion to the national debt. Our national debt is already like 37 trillion or something. Horrific amount. They added $4 trillion to it. So they sit there and they say, we're not made of money. We can't afford to pay for food stamps. But and you can't afford to pay for Medicaid. But you just added $4 trillion in spending you didn't pay for tax cuts for the rich. Why did you do it if we don't have money? Because when it comes to giving money to rich people, they're always willing to they don't find the money. They don't care about finding the money. I think it's obscene. I like my taxes cut. We pay low taxes in America. By the way, we really pay low taxes in America. I was telling you this. I was looking at taxes in Greece and the rest of Europe. Oh my God. I mean, the way Republicans complain about taxes, you have no idea what taxes are like in Europe. Oh my God, they're bad. Oh my God. Right? But horrific. Oh, I see, by the way, by user 1469, by the way, user 1469 said Democrats don't understand math. I took 2 semesters of calculus in high school. Did you? I'm going to guess that even if you were here, you probably never took calculus, let alone never in high school. That's going to be my little guess. But hey, I'm sure your algebra work senior year of high school went really well. Anyway, so yeah, this is bad. I mean, again, bad stuff. But again, they're willing to spend $4 trillion that isn't paid for. $4 trillion that isn't paid for, guys. And even like the troll that was there, doesn't care. He didn't care. He didn't care, right? They claim to care about the deficit. They don't. They claim to care about the national debt, but when it comes to this, they don't. They claim to care about strong defense. When it comes to Russia, they don't. I mean, I don't know what they claim to believe in anymore. You know, family, faith, and freedom. Donald Trump, family. Third wife? Stormy Daniels? Donald Trump, freedom? Again, not strong in the military, not strong in standing up to our enemies. Donald Trump, faith? Anyway, but in any case, but that's the thing. The Nebraska stuff was very interesting to me because, as I said, having organized this stuff for decades, you don't get people to line up around the block by paying them. You don't get people to line up around the block by organizing unions or whatever. Getting people to turn out is living hell. When they line up around the block, you got a problem. All right, a little bit more here. Oh, the census. Oh my God, I didn't even get to the census story. Oh, thank you for the gift there. Who was that? Oh, that was Shayna. Thank you, Shayna. So Trump is now going to rejigger the census. This is very bad. The goal here is to steal both congressional seats and presidential elections. I mean, this is very bad, guys. So every 10 years, we have a new census. And, right? Oh, boy. No. Bah, sneeze. I hate that. If I sneeze too much, then it triggers my asthma. So then then I get a tight chest. 2 sneezes, usually okay. Hopefully okay. 3 sneezes, then my asthma starts to be an issue. Thank you guys for the blessings. Gesundheit, exactly. Trump and the census. So every 10 years, we have a new census. They go door to door, they interview people, find out how many people, according to the Constitution, how many people are residents in the US. That means Americans, it means immigrants, it means people here illegally. Doesn't matter. Under the Constitution, we count every resident of the US. Then what you do is you figure out how many members of Congress each state gets based on that calculation. Every 10 years, it changes. A state gets a bigger, the state population grows, you get more members of Congress. State population drops, you get fewer members of Congress. You do it every 10 years when you do the census. Well, two things. Republicans decided, you know what? Screw it. In Texas, Donald Trump told them to, and he's doing it. In Texas, he said, you know what? Just go and rejigger the congressional districts now, even though it's 2025. Yeah, you're not supposed to do it till 2030. Do it now. Why not do it now, right? So that's the first thing he did. Second thing he did, Trump figured, you know what? Why just do Texas? Why not do it nationwide? So Trump went, right? Oh, sorry, Sadowski. I thought you were careful. I thought you were being a troll. Now I get you aren't, but be careful with stuff like that. It's hard to tell who the trolls are. So now Trump said he's going to rejigger the census itself. We don't know yet if he's going to have a new census or whether he's going to take the old census and throw a bunch of people out. But Trump said he doesn't want illegals being counted and all this kind of stuff. Under the Constitution, we count everything. Right? Thank you, Sadowski. For a second there, I thought you were a troll, though. I was like, what is she doing? Or he. Trump doesn't want, people here illegally getting counted. Well, under the Constitution, they do. I'm sorry, they do. He is going to have a census now. Again, totally illegal. It's every 10 years. But he's got his people in the courts. He may get away with it. He's going to have a new census, either, and we don't know yet. He announced it, but we don't know what he means. Either they're going to have a new census entirely and count fewer people and just say, oh, you're illegal, you don't get counted. Maybe you're an immigrant and not an American. You don't get counted, right? That'll be the first thing. Second thing he could do, which is much easier because census takes years to prepare. Second thing he could do, he could simply tell the Commerce Department to look at the data, right? Look at the Obama data that came in from the census. You got the data, go through it and get rid of anybody who's not American, or get rid of anybody who is here illegally, so that he wouldn't even have to have a new census. It is, and by the way, guess what the impact of that is? You get rid of several million people out of the census, right? Could be 10 or 20 million, 30 million people out of the census. You take away congressional seats from states permanently. When those congressional seats change, guess what else happens? They lose electoral votes. Guess where electoral votes matter? Electoral votes matter in the presidential election. So now you've made it harder for Democrats to win and easier for Republicans to win, not just Congress, but presidential elections as well. Texas, people have mentioned this, Kathy. Some people said, well, it could hurt Texas because Texas has a lot of people there illegally, blah, blah, blah. Well, it could, except this is Donald Trump. Do you really think Donald Trump is going to do a review of Texas's census? No. He's going to do a review of California's census. He's going to do a review of Illinois' census, of New York's, right? He's not going to do it of Texas. He's not going to do Arizona. He's going to do the states he doesn't like of Democrats, just like he does with disaster funding. This is very scary stuff. I mean, this is what really scares me is people, will often say they think Trump isn't going to have elections again. I don't think that's the case. I think he's going to have elections. What worries me is this is sort of a metaphoric way of getting around that, right? Change the system at such a basic level, right? Cheat by changing if the census is the basis, of apportioning Congress between Democrats and Republicans, change the census. If the census is the basis of picking the president, change the census. And now you've made it easier for Republicans and harder for Democrats. This is very scary stuff, guys. It's very scary stuff. He made some kind of a bullshit argument. What the F Jojo just said. Trump said in Texas, for example, he goes, I won a lot of votes in Texas last year, so we need to reapportion the congressional districts. literally doesn't work that way. I mean, literally doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. That's not how it works. Really sick stuff. Really sick stuff. I just blows my mind. That's literally what he said. I don't know what you read. Thank you, Blue. Literally what he said. Really sick stuff that's going on here. Is it even legal? Well, as we've learned in our country, it's legal until the court tells you so. But here's the problem. If it's illegal, the Justice Department has to investigate Donald Trump. Do you think Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are going to investigate Donald Trump for committing crimes, for breaking the law? Really? They're going to investigate him for cheating on the election? Really? I mean, this is crazy. There's no way. I mean, that's what I mean. There's literally no way to enforce this other than going to court. And then you hope he didn't so change the courts that the judges go along with this kind of stuff. And honestly, maybe he'll get away with it. I mean, because for example, what if you can't do another census until 2030? Okay. But what if you can go and look at the census data and say, wow, I found a lot of mistakes, right? Then you got to go to court. Now, certainly if you go to court, they could have a court case deciding on whether or not people who are here illegally get counted, right? And maybe a conservative court appointed by Donald Trump may say they don't get counted. It's very scary stuff. Very scary stuff. Okay, Arctic, that's a little over my head. I'm intrigued, but for me to quote that's a little over my head. Anyway, Putin, Ukraine. Trump is open to meeting Putin. They're talking about meeting next week. Even if Putin refuses to meet Zelensky, Trump initially said, I'm going to meet with Putin, and then I'm going to meet Putin, Zelensky. And now Putin went, I don't think so. And Trump's like, well, I guess I'll meet Putin anyway, even if he doesn't meet Zelensky. Trump reportedly told European leaders and Zelensky during a phone call that Putin is open to negotiations if land swaps are included in the talks. Nobody knows what that means. The problem is, for example, he's open to negotiation if land swaps are included. What? Meaning, oh, Ukraine, we'd like you to give us a little more land? Discord froze. Hang on. Discord, which is never evil, has been evil lately. 1 second. It did freeze. How interesting. All right. 1 second. That was weird. 1 moment. Turn off camera. Turn on camera. Maybe turn on camera. I may have to reboot. Oh, Discord's kind of frozen on me. I'm going to turn off Discord and turn it back on. All right. That was interesting. Yeah, well, I can tell on my end too. I tried to restart. I tried to turn off my Discord. 1 second, guys. Having a little problem. I tried to turn off and on my Discord camera, and it just kept spinning, the spinning basketball of death. It wouldn't come back. So let me see right now. Hopefully. Go to channel. All right, let's try this. Speak on stage. It's spinning in a deadly way. Discord's out. I'm going to leave this on to see if it comes back, but it's spinning and not being very good, just so you know. So, yeah, very strange. Yeah, it's not bringing my camera back. Failed to start camera, error 2014. What the hell does that mean? You know what? Let me switch cameras. Maybe it's not liking my 1 second, guys, and then we're going to give up on Discord in about 2 seconds here. Let me just switch to my FaceTime camera. No, neither camera is working. This is a Discord problem. Very interesting. Yeah, it doesn't matter which camera. And the audio is very static. Don't even tell me that. Don't even. Yeah, Discord. I'm going to close Discord out. Let me close it out just because it might be even interfering with stuff too. Very weird though. Yeah. All right, close Discord. Sorry, guys. All right. And I'm closing it out too. All right. What do you do? Oh. Okay, and my printer suddenly decided it wanted to print. Why are you printing? I think my printer is printing my notes again. Yeah, my printer is printing my notes all over again. I don't know what that's about. I mean, literally, we're an hour into the show. I have to check this out. I think it's printing my notes again. Yeah, it is. That is so weird. Stop it. Don't waste my ink. That was very interesting. All right. That was so bizarre. My haunted condo, except the ghost just wanted to print my notes for tonight's show again. That was totally bizarre. That was totally bizarre. That made me laugh. That was really funny. Yeah, nothing we can do about static. You guys know that. It just is what it is. God knows why there should be static. I think the Discord thing got weird. Who knows? The printer. This is like Matt Reif or whatever his name is. Did you see that? I like him actually a lot. He's a comedian, very raunchy comedian, but he's very good. And he bought the rights to the house that couple that did The Conjuring, that they're the ones who own that doll, the Annabelle doll, the haunted doll. And he bought the rights to the house for 5 years. He doesn't own the house, the Warrens. He doesn't own the house. He owns the rights to the house so that he's going to market it, have sleepovers, like charge people to have a sleepover and all this kind of stuff. Oh, I think it's kind of fun. I'd consider doing it actually, but I'm a little nervous about it. But like to have a sleepover in the house, I'm still not convinced I probably would want to do it with that doll there. I'm not sure I'd want to do it. But very interesting. Very interesting. I probably wouldn't do it. I'd go visit. Depending how much it is, I'd visit. Annabelle's there. She's in a case, not supposed to be opened. But I think, well, he's really big on this stuff. So he did a video as, I know this is totally like out of left field, but I bought the rights to the house for 5 years and I'm so excited. And you're like, you are such a weirdo. Anyway, weird stuff. Has Annabelle not gone to? I'm sure Annabelle might be the new Republican vice presidential candidate. That's true, or senatorial candidate. Anyway, actually, there was some good news from the Wall Street Journal. Sorry, let me read you the Wall Street Journal story about Ukraine, and then we can talk about all this other stuff. Listen, Ukrainian forces have halted Russia's summer offensive in the north of the country, recapturing some land and underlining Moscow's inability to put together decisive operations in its 3.5-year war. While Ukraine has largely stopped Moscow's move into Sumy province, in which Russian troops advanced as close as 12 miles from the regional capital, its own forces remain outgunned and might struggle to build on their momentum. At the same time, Russia continues to make incremental gains in eastern Ukraine, but with high casualties. Moscow has failed to gain a decisive breakthrough with large-scale offensives. So that's good news, at least. I mean, Russia, as I've pretty much said, Russia's not doing well. Ukraine's not doing great, but Ukraine's not doing poorly either. But the Russians are slowly advancing, very slowly, and losing a huge number of men. So it's not, neither country is doing great, put it that way. It's a stalemate for both, which is what's interesting. The thing is, currently, Putin doesn't care how many of his own troops he loses. But anyway, I didn't want to miss that story because, as I said, that was moving my camera here. That was quite a good story. So that's good news. Yay. So anyway, numbers, I don't know the numbers today offhand. I did a story on this last week. Huge number of Russian casualties in the last couple months. Huge. I forget what the numbers are, but they were very big. Yeah. There we go. Goes back a little bit when I turned the camera. Oh, that's interesting. When I turn the camera, it zooms in. Oh, that's kind of funky. Huh. That's quite interesting. Although the quality might go down. How interesting. I'm like rotating my camera so it's off axis and it squares it to zoom it in. Might cut the quality though, so that's a little bit of a concern, but I like it zoomed in more. Anyway, guys, that went long. I'm sorry. We went long on the news tonight, so we're all ghosts in the machine. Exactly. Do androids really dream of electric sheep? The rose garden patio and the umbrellas. Oh no. What is there now? Oh no. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Oh no. Rose Garden. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Daily Beast. After bulldozing the historic Rose Garden, the president is reportedly adding final touches that resemble Florida. Oh, God. I mean, first of all, he paved it, which is weird. Oh, God. And of course, it's got gold umbrellas. Of course, it's got gold umbrellas. Oh, God. I mean, first of all, he paved it. It was a garden. It was a garden planted by Jackie Kennedy, and he paved it. Okay, that's the first thing. And now they're putting ugly gold umbrellas up. First of all, what is this, like a beach? Seriously, though, like some cheap beach thing? I mean, like, what even is that? I don't even understand what that is. Like, what the hell is it? Hold on, let me give the dog some water. Jesus Christ. Honestly, one of the things we're going to have to do after Democrats come in and they literally destroy everything he did to the White House, we're going to need to pass a law that basically the president isn't able to do this kind of crap without congressional approval. Because this is just sick. Oh, he literally put the umbrellas he has at Mar-a-Lago. Jesus Christ. Patio furniture. God. I really don't understand it. Yeah, he's trying to make it look like Mar-a-Lago. I mean, a concrete patio and furniture now occupy the bulk of the space of the Rose Garden. Again, it was a historic Rose Garden painted by Jackie Kennedy. Okay? I mean, painted by frickin' Jackie Kennedy. And now it's concrete with ugly gold umbrellas that Liberace would be very proud of. Look at this. Look at this. Again, it was a rose garden planted by Jackie Kennedy. It's now concrete with umbrellas. I mean, so tacky. So freaking tacky. It's beautiful white stone. It's beautiful white stone. It's concrete. It's beautiful white stone. And it's a stone that's the same color as the White House itself. Oh, God. Oh, God. Trump just said his explanation of it was it's beautiful white stone and it's the same color as the White House, because nobody realized that white was the color of the White House. He had to tell people. Seriously. It's a beautiful white stone, and it's a stone that's the same color as the White House itself. Oh, really? White is the color of the White House? Brilliant. And because it's very white, it's going to reflect the heat, and it's not going to be very hot. Okay. I didn't know we were worried about a garden being hot. What I mean, he wanted. They got rid of the freaking rose garden. God. What's happening is we like to have events. Every event you have, it's soaking wet. It's soaking wet, and the women with high heels, it's just too much. Okay? So they can't have events outside because it's wet. I mean, God. Yeah, then Melania dug up like a ton of the roses back during their first little presidency. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Where was I'm looking for the before and after here. Hang on a second. Come on. Hang on. See if I can find it. Oops. Copy. Come on. Everything's being very slow today. I'm excited with my new ChatGPT, though. See if it's any better. If it doesn't hallucinate, maybe it can help me with my Greek family history again. I sort of put it off a little bit because it kept making stuff up, and I was like, not cool. I can't get Daily Beast. All right. Anyway, hold on. Melania Rose Garden before, after. I'm going to show you this. Yeah. Oh, she's so terrible. I mean, I'm trying to find like there's lots of pictures. The after is literally a lawn. I mean, again, like this is the after. It's a lawn with some plants on the side, right? This is what Melania did to it. Her big plan was to dig up all the plants that Jackie Kennedy planted and put a lawn in the middle. It's like, okay, right? If you're upset about it being wet, maybe you should talk to your wife. But let me find the before and after. Hang on. One moment. I mean, I've got some befores and afters. I'm trying to find, well, maybe this one's good. BBC's isn't bad. Yeah. I mean, BBC's isn't bad though. So the top picture, you've got the before with the flowers and the after with like a small roll of flowers and grass. It was literally a rose garden. The garden's older than Jackie. Okay. I knew Jackie had planted a lot of it. So there you go. One side, it was a rose garden. It was a garden. The other side, it's grass with some, literally, it looks like a guy planted it. It's literally like a small row. What is it, a hedges or something? It looks like it's hedges. That's it. It's like some green hedges. I mean, my God. Oh, Eleanor Roosevelt put in the first roses. You know, that's the other thing too. Thank you, V. It's been a couple of weeks, but thank you. That's the other thing too. This garden is historic. Jackie Kennedy planted some of the flowers. Eleanor Roosevelt planted some of the flowers. And you just freaking dug them up because Melania thought it would look better having grass. And then Trump dug it up. By the way, we spent all this money of Melania digging up the rose garden, and now Trump is spending money digging up what Melania built. Like, like, seriously? So his wife wasted all the money, and now he's digging up what his wife did? It's really just, it is peak narcissism. They don't care. They don't care. Remember, Trump's the one who talked about Camp David and said it was a dump. Remember, he said Camp David was a dump. Hated it. Hated Camp David. Actually, I want to double check this if it was the White House that he said. I think it was Camp David he said that. And didn't like to go there. Hold on. I think it was Camp David. Hang on. Let me pull this up again. Although it could have been the White House. I think it was Camp David. Was it Camp David or the White House that Trump reportedly referred to as a dump when he first became president? All right. It was the White House. I thought it was the White House. He criticized Camp David too, but I thought it was the White House. In 2017, Sports Illustrated reported that Trump, during a conversation at one of his golf clubs, allegedly referred to the White House as a real dump. He denied the remark, but multiple outlets, including Golf Magazine, cited club members who said they heard him say it. Multiple outlets found multiple club members of Trump's club who heard him say the White House was a real dump. Oh, am I doing my ASMR again? The White House was a real dump. Right? I mean, again and again, I will say again and again until I'm blue in the face. This is how bad Democrats are at politics. Donald Trump insulted the White House and said it was a dump. And Democrats, even I had to Google to make sure because no one talks about it anymore. No one talks about it, right? I mean, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. God, really just amazing. Anyway. So Anyway, what is Diane doing? We were just nice to Diane. Don't make us take it back, Diane. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What the Lord giveth, the Lord could taketh away. All right. Yeah, no, he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. Anyway. Oh, people took her joke the wrong way. Okay. Sorry about that. Well, again, we get so many trolls, we get so many bad people that come to try to disrupt the show we get so many bad people that come that it can be even what happened earlier. The other person, I'm forgetting who you already are. The other person made kind of a joke, and I thought they were being a troll, and I looked and I went, eh? And then I went, I think that's sarcastic. Yeah, it's very difficult. It's difficult online, but it's especially difficult because we get so many nasty people that it can be, have I seen the White House? I haven't seen what Trump's done to it. I've been to the White House many times, but I haven't been there, since Trump actually Biden people never invited me, which I was a little annoyed. The Obama people had me there many times. Sorry. Yeah, it can be bad. Or if you're putting a sarcastic thing, put a smiley face. That helps at least. Well, it can help. The problem is the trolls will often use laughing smiley faces. So the smiley face doesn't even help either, really. Anyway, it happens. But yeah, it can be difficult to sort of tell who's joking. All right, guys, it's 7:15. Yes, the musician in Greek, Yanni, it's the same name. I mean, it is that is the name John in Greek. Yeah. Now, I used to always get that, which was annoying. People were like, Yanni, like the blah, because I always hated Yanni's music. Like Yanni's, the voice is sounding slightly better, but it's still raspy. So, somebody got Heather a sub. That was nice. Does S for, I wouldn't know S for sarcasm. Good idea, Josh. But I wouldn't, trying to get this here. I wouldn't necessarily know that /S is sarcasm. Interesting. Exactly. But /S, not a terrible idea. There's got to be some way. Or you just put in parentheses, kidding. Honestly, that's probably what I would do. I just always found Yanni's music to be kind of a little too new age for my tastes. Yeah, /S I wasn't familiar with, though. No. JK, I know for just kidding. Yes, I do know that. Yeah, I do know that. JK, that's true. But /S I never heard of. Yeah, I didn't know. You need a trigger warning. Trigger warning. I am about to make a joke. I will say kidding sometimes. Actually, I will put paren kidding, maybe an exclamation point even to make it even more, or kidding in a smiley face just to be even more obviously joking. But you're right. For Reddit people, they know. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go. It's 7:15. And again, the voice is being a little weird today, so I don't want to do any more. I will put my card out here and call this guy tomorrow. We will remember to do that. But thank you all. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for joining us. And I guess that's it. That's right. We already signed off a Discord. YouTube, you're next. TikTok, you're next. See you, Fallen. All right. Bye, YouTube. Boom, boom. All righty.